Jonas Valanciunas and Alex Sarr do shine tonight, but the Wizards do fall for the second time in 3 days to the New York Knicks. Time 126-106. Josh Hart draws a triple-double. But like I said, Jonas Valanciunas and Alex Sarr did show some glimpses tonight. Come on, let's talk about it. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Brandon Scott again. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Wizards Daily Newsletter, a one-stop shop for the ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. And start your day with the all-new free or Locked On Wizards newsletter. All right, kind of slipped up a little bit, but it's all good. You guys get the message. All right, so again, the Washington Wizards lose to the New York Knicks for the second time in 3 nights, 126-106. Josh Hart drops a triple-double, and Karl-Anthony Towns does his thing tonight. But like I said, the Washington Wizards did have glimpses. Malcolm Brogdon looked good tonight. Alex Sarr and Jonas Valanciunas really did the thing in the paint, and Corey Kispert looking like the Corey Kispert we know he can be. But let's kind of start the show real quick. Bob Carrington, concussion, took a really nasty hit to the head, man. You know, for somebody who suffered concussions, man, there's nothing you play with, man. So like I said, prayers go out to my guy, Bob Carrington. Hopefully everything's all right with him, because like I said, scary stuff with concussions, man. So like I said, hopefully everything's right with him, and probably expect him probably gonna be out for a little bit with, doing to the concussion protocol. But I'm down with that, man, because you never mess around with concussions. So again, hopefully he's all right. But AB, man, I mean, the Wizards show glimpses, and I feel like I said that many times this year, but the New York Knicks, man, I think this is a classic example of they're just a better team. I mean, the Knicks look like they're a team that wants to challenge the Cavs and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference, and this is a team that's looking to make that move. So is that kind of what you're going with, man? You know, is this just a classic example of just a better team, or, what other factors do you see contributing to this L tonight?
Kyle Kuzma being no, I'm just joking. I'm play. But no, I know JP didn't play. And again, the Knicks, like I mentioned the other day, they're one of the contending teams in the Eastern Conference. I mean, they traded from Mikal Bridges. They got OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns. I mean, that's just superpower and super. But I remember the days when, like in 2015, 2016, 2014, where when we used to play the Knicks, it was an easy win. But now, we have the short end of the bargain. So it's like, at the end of the day, the Wizards, like, it's good to see Alex Sarr with 18 points and JV getting his trade value up, because that's what we essentially need come down the trade deadline. Corey Kispert, again, we talked about his contract situation, how we expect more from him, and he stepped up tonight. But again, it's the New York Knicks, and it's just, they played it good the first game, but second game, I think the Knicks were like, all right, let's chill out.
Yeah, I think they really wanted to come out of the Cab one with this victory. I mean, their fan base was loud tonight, man. I mean, they were chanting for the team. A lot of boos tonight, especially for Kyle Kuzma. And I don't know if it was just strictly from the Knicks fans. I don't know why Knicks fans would have an issue with him. And I don't know if it was Wizards fans. I don't know, but look, we definitely needed his scoring. And like I said, not his best showing tonight. Obviously he's come back from injury, so give him some time. I mean, he came off the bench tonight and shot 4 for 9 for the field, 0 for 3 from 3 and 9 points. So definitely want to give him time to kind of get back from injury. But man, look, the Knicks ain't playing, man. I mean, if you look at Josh Hart, did his thing tonight, 23 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. Lord have mercy. And look at that Karl-Anthony Towns, 32 points, 13 assists, or 13 rebounds, my bad. And then, like you said, Brunson did his thing, 18 points. But looking at the Wizards, I think the centers are the ones who shine tonight. Jonas Valanciunas is producing all season long. And looking at it from the perspective of being that mentor to Alex Sarr, I think he's checked that box. He's definitely leading by example, and definitely, you definitely believe that he's pushing him in practice, trying to toughen him up a little bit and get him ready for being a center in the NBA. And Alex Sarr, again, his offense is starting to look good, AB. I mean, for a guy who's supposedly a bust in Summer League, man, this guy is playing really good basketball. I mean, you see him progressing very, very rapidly in his rookie campaign. I still think he's a year or so away from being a consistent offensive threat. But, he shined tonight. He looked good tonight. 18 points, 4 rebounds, 7 for 13 for the field, 3 for 6 from 3, 50% from 3. So, and then one really good block. So, like I said, other people to shine. Malcolm Brogdon, another guy where if you keep Malcolm healthy, you're going to get some value in exchange at the trade deadline for him. So he's been playing really good basketball. And like I said, there's never been a question of talent with Malcolm Brogdon. This is a question of ability, or no, availability. My bad. Because, availability is your best ability, kind of where I'm getting at. And then, like you said, Corey Kispert looked good tonight. 6 for 10 for the field, 3 for 6 from 3, 16 points. And So I mean, they had their moments. Obviously Kuz, to me, been out 12 games, didn't have a lot of expectations as far as off his output. Definitely he's getting his legs ready to be getting back in action. So Bob Carrington, I'm obviously not gonna get on him about anything. I mean, he went down with a concussion. So again, hopefully he's all right. Justin Champagny, look, he's played good basketball. So I'm gonna give the man a bad game. All right. I think that, not his best showing, but he has played really well this season. And the same thing with Bilal, both Champagny and Bilal. And I think that's a testament to look who's guarding them. Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby are guys who are 3-and-D guys. I mean, these two are the one of the better defenders in the NBA. So I think it's a learning experience for Bilal, because he's usually the guy who's on the other side who's locking people down. When you go against a guy like OG Anunoby and a guy like Mikal Bridges, who are known to be high level defenders who can stretch the floor, kind of expect that output. These guys can play. Champagny and Bilal are ballers, man. But these guys are, these are all-stars caliber guys, man. So, like I said, I think it's a learning experience for both of these guys because they're very young players. So, yeah, I'm with you, AB. I think it's just a talent gap, man. New York ain't playing. The Eastern Conference is starting. We're not yet on par with the Western Conference, but they're starting to become a lot more competitive, and I like that because you see teams that are going to be on our path when we decide to take that next step for contention. So, I'm gonna ask you another question real quick, kind of looking at the stat line. What was I going to ask you, man? I had to do with the Knicks. All right. Yeah, I mean, looking at the lineup tonight, AB, that's one question I want to ask you real quick. Bilal at the 4. I mean, I don't know if I like Bilal at the 4, man. I think he's obviously best suited at the 3, and you can definitely play the 2. But I think, looking at the lineup, and like I said, I haven't had many issues with lineups. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the 3-guard lineup. We saw that with head coach Brian Keefe. But I mean, what do you think? I ask you about both of them. I mean, are you a big believer in the 3-guard lineup? And looking at tonight's lineup, Bilal, I don't think he has any business playing before, man.
Yeah, no, I mentioned it before. I've never been a fan of the 3-guard lineup. I just don't find it very appealing, especially when you're trying to go out there, especially when you have younger guys who are at different positions. And Bilal at the 4, yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think way better suited at the 3. And today, I mean, Bilal blocks every. I think he had three today. I'm pretty sure. So Bilal, again, I'll keep emphasizing it. Once the vets are traded, he's the top of my list of the guys that I can't wait to go out there and just because again, you mentioned it. He's ahead of schedule when it comes to developing. Year 2, I mean, no one expected that, and year 3, I can't wait. So, but post year 2 trade deadline, that's where I'm putting my eyes right now.
I'm with you on that. I definitely echo your sentiment, man. I think that he's ready to be the kind of the Robin role, the Batman. He being that second guy, and I think the Jordan Poole has proven that he's ready to take the lead role at least for the next 2 to 3 years. You know what I mean? And like I said, we've talked many times about how good the trade situation. So I'm kind of going to give it a break tonight, but I think they're going to be very active at the trade deadline. Like I said, this you starting to see because look, the Brooklyn Nets is a team that's in a similar situation like we are. They're starting to make moves. Dennis Schroeder already traded, sending Dorian Finney to the Lakers. So they're definitely getting all the assets they can for a lot of their veteran players. So I definitely think we're going to be right in line with the Brooklyn Nets. And Valanciunas and Malcolm Brogdon, I think, are for sure going to be on the way out. But looking at Kyle Kuzma, like I said, there's the only thing I'm going to say about Kuzma. I do think that obviously, look, he's pretty much asked for trade out of DC, and I think the writing's on the wall, other factors we've talked about many times. But the true question with him, as far as the deadline, is value. What are you really realistically looking at getting? And when you look at JV, you're looking at second round picks. I haven't seen any first round picks. Looking at Malcolm Brogdon, I think he could be probably your best bet to get a first round pick. And I think there's still a chance that you could get a first round pick for Kuz. I think we still have plenty of time right now. He's still gearing up, coming back from injury. Look, give him that extended look and see if we can build that value back up because he can play. All 3 of these guys can play. And I think the biggest thing is that we're in a rebuild and we need to prioritize development of young players. And I said all the time, if we were a playoff team, I'd like all 3 of them to be on the team, to be honest with you. I think all 3 of them can definitely be good contributors for a playoff team. So I wouldn't trade in these guys if we were a legit playoff team, but that's the thing. We're not. We're a team that's, second year of looks to be probably going to be 2 to 3 more years of rebuild. And you've got to start the youth movement. You got to prioritize developing young talent now because you want to give these guys that build that chemistry in the second half of the season. So I'm with you on that. Kind of going back to tonight's game. The Knicks are a team that they're ready, and we're a team that we show a lot of promise, a lot of potential, but we're not ready, man. And you like to see them play hard. The previous game against the Knicks, we played hard. We played them really tough, but tonight they weren't playing. I mean, their fan base really showed out. And like I said, I've had this conversation with people, and it's hard to have that home court advantage in DC. Like I said, I had an interview in the radio station in Charlotte, man. And they were asking me because he came up here for the Army Navy game. The guy who was a host, he said, I came up there for the Army Navy game, and I noticed that there's not a lot of Wizard stuff going around DC. You see a lot of Commander stuff, And I said, look, especially the Commanders and the Wizards, it's hard to have the home court advantage or home field advantage because DC is a melting pot. Because of government workers, because of Fortune 500 in different companies, most people that live here aren't from here. So yes, it's tough to hear let's go Knicks in Cap 1, man. But I think it's one of those classic examples, kind of like the Golden State Warriors. Where are all the Warriors fans when it was like Baron Davis rolling out there, man? Now all of a sudden, yeah, exactly. So now, Golden State was similar, where that was kind of considered a small market, and it's crazy because it's not, Oakland and San Francisco, but a team that with success brought fans. So I think that you're going to see a lot more noise in Cap 1 once we start to get better. So that's kind of where I'm at, is disparaging hearing let's go Knicks. I really hate hearing MVP chants for opposing players, but we're going to get there, man. But, getting respect, especially, as far as, having that raw in the Cap 1 is going to take time. So we're going to talk about some NBA news, man. How can it potentially affect the Wizards? I don't think too much, but I mean, it's really a general conversation we're going to have tonight. Player versus coaching. And Mike Brown was sent on his way in Sacramento. I got my own opinion about that. I'm going to get yours. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Rocket RX. Today's episode is brought to you by Rocket RX. If you're ready to boost your confidence and take control in the bedroom, Rocket RX has the solution. Imagine feeling more prepared and performing at your best. Rocket RX makes it simple and stress-free. Rocket RX offers FDA-approved treatments for erectile dysfunction at a lower cost than branded alternatives. No more uncomfortable doctor visits or pharmacy trips. Everything's delivered right to your door in discreet, plain packaging. With Rocket RX, you'll get trusted care from a real U.S. clinical team. Complete a quick 100% online consultation, and you could get your free prescription today. Not tomorrow, today, people. I'm trying to tell y'all. So look, if you're one of these gentlemen that need a little boost in the bedroom, look, ain't no shame in your game, man. Just visit rocketrx.com to get started now. It only takes 2 minutes. Right now, our listeners can get 40% off your first order when you use Locked On NBA. That's rocketrx.com. Code Locked On NBA for 40% off your first order. Terms and conditions apply. Rocket RX, better sex made simple. It's that easy. All right, man, let's get back into it. So if you don't know, you should know. Mike Brown is out in Sacramento, and now it's turned into kind of a saga right now. You got players like DeMar DeRozan, obviously De'Aaron Fox, voicing displeasure about the coaching techniques of Mike Brown. And then you look at another factor, which is before the season, he signed a 3-year extension. So it kind of echoes Monty Williams, right? I mean, how you sign a reputable coach to a long-term deal, and then you kind of cut sling low, which is Army term, and early on in the process. And so it's kind of a two-part question. Number one, how bad of a decision is this? Or if you agree with it, why? And when you look at the realm of player, player freedom and player, having a lot more freedom of speech, kind of what I'm saying. I guess the word I'm trying to say is player, you kind of help me out, man.
Influence, you mean?
Empowerment. There you go. Yeah. Player empowerment. Like, where do you draw the line, AB? Like,
with Brown, I mean, I was a big fan of him, and again, like, but the Kings, I mean, last time before they made the playoffs recently, it was 2006, the last time, and it's like that coach brings you to that point, and then you give him an extension, and you mentioned screams Monty Williams. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. And if you're the GM, you're the owner, you're looking at it and like, okay, the players, like, obviously they can voice their opinion. But at the end of the day, this man changed the culture here in Sacramento. For as much as we want to complain about Wizards fans being miserable, the Kings, I mean, when it comes to a franchise, it's just not a lot there. At one point, they had a prime DeMarcus Cousins, but he couldn't even save Sacramento. So it was very questionable. And the talent there, I mean, I'm a big fan of Sabonis' game. Yeah. I'm a big fan of De'Aaron Fox's game. I mean, holy crap. They're just the different types of beasts in the NBA. And DeMar DeRozan as well. It's just like, at some point, what are you doing there if you're in the front office in Sacramento? This guy literally changed the dynamic here in and what do the fans think? I mean, you started winning. Obviously, there's a hiccup, but how much of that is on Brown,
No, I agree 100%. And it's really a tricky situation because, like I said, It's a totally different landscape in the NBA like it was than it was when I was growing up. Growing up watching the Bulls and the Lakers and the Celtics. And you see, and I'm not against player empowerment. I'm not. I think that these guys should have a say in the process, especially when it comes to CBA, especially when it comes to certain things, when it comes to the league. They're part of this thing, just like the GMs, the coaches, the commissioner, and all that. But in saying that, I'm all in, man. Like I think of things in realms of military. In the military we have chain of command, right? You can't have a private just straight up talk to a sergeant major. Anybody who's listening or watching who's military, you know what I'm saying. Chain of command is the thing, and player empowerment I think can be a good thing till it's not. And he got a reaction for these players last year. Now, with the slow start, can you really put that on Mike Brown? I mean, yes and no. I mean, look, you can kind of argue. He's got plenty. It's kind of like it echoes the Chicago Bears, right? Everybody wants to get on, this situation over there, but they have 3 stud wide receivers. Like, what's the problem? Like, if you look at the players they have in Sacramento, you got De'Aaron Fox, you have Keegan Murray, right? You have DeMar DeRozan, you have Sabonis. I mean, you've got some ballers. You got Malik Monk. I mean, you got a team that can definitely. I'm not saying you're going to be up there with the top dogs, but you're going to be a playoff team. You're definitely in the conversation. You can argue maybe they're a piece away. But they have a nice young squad. Yeah, Keegan Murray has kind of struggled, especially defensively this year, but we know high potential with him. He's a guy that, look, you get him in the Wizards uniform, man, I would definitely trip because I think he's a baller, man. Sabonis always been a big fan of him, stretching back to Indiana, OKC. De'Aaron Fox, there was talk about him not being happy, and that's the thing, man. I mean, and that's what bothers me. I can rock with player and player empowerment. But here's the thing, man. I mean, everybody's got their place. And I don't like it how coaches are the first ones to get knocked. I mean, it's a team sport for a reason, right? Everybody has a part to play in the organization. GM, what is his job? To find talent. Find talent within the draft. Find the free agency draft. Trade. The whole their HR. The whole point is to find talent. Coaching. Your job is to motivate your players. Players play. I mean, I never understood. Really players having enough power to get a coach fired. GM, you need a GM. Like, that's your job. I mean, to me, that's too much. Because, let's be real, I think De'Aaron Fox is an all-star player. But, bro, you ain't made it past the first round. Like, I mean, how much empowerment do you really want? Like, you got your team. They brought you a vet in Sabonis. You got a nice young guy in Keegan Murray. You got another vet in DeRozan. You got another vet in Malik Monk, a guy who's a really nice fit. I think that he was a scapegoat. I think he was the guy who took the brunt, and I don't like that because it's not on him 100%. I think that a slow start for the Kings, I think is on the coach and the players. Because are they going to automatically be better because Mike Brown's not the coach? You could argue that this is the beginning and the end, in my opinion, because you already heard that De'Aaron Fox is possibly in trade talks. Now, if De'Aaron Fox goes, you best believe DeRozan ain't trying to be around anymore because he's chasing the ring. At this stage in his career, he's not going to stick around because if you move De'Aaron Fox, you might as well move Sabonis. Unless you get a kind of an equivalent player in return to lead your franchise. But if you get rid of De'Aaron Fox, you might as well strip it down because Sabonis is not a player who's going to lead his team. He's a nice complementary player, and he's a guy who obviously is an all-star level talent, but he's not a guy that you can say as an organization, say, put the team on his back and say, go, win this game. No, he fits his role. Keegan Murray's not there yet, and Malik Monk and DeRozan's not that guy anymore. So I think it's a tricky situation. I think that is like we were talking about with Kuz and the situation in DC. And for some reason, guys, I swear to get right now. I don't know what's going on with the Heat because the funniest thing, AB, kind of going off topic real quick, is last night after the video's done, didn't sweat a bit. So I don't know what's going on. I think it's just a little worked up right now. But anyways, getting back to the point. I don't like. I think it's very disrespectful. I think that to send him on his way right after you sign him to an extension, what message are you really saying? I mean, it's okay to give power to players. I have no problem with that, but I don't think players should have the power to be, the fire coach. That is the GM's job. And I don't think he did that bad of a job. And like I said, I don't cover the Kings. I cover the Wizards. So I don't have too much of a deep look into what's going on in Sacramento. There's definitely something I'm going to talk to my homie over there that Locked On Kings, man. But, it's just, I don't like that. I think it's too much power. I think everybody has a place in the organization. And I do believe in, command, like, chain of command. Like, I don't think a player should be able to go straight to a GM. I think the coach needs to be that mediator. And I mean, like I said, I'm an old head, and that's the mentality that older people have. But it's just, That's too much, man. So, I mean, what do you think?
I definitely agree. Like, again, like if you go to that, if you're a player, you go to the gym, it just creates more tension. And let's say like you fire him, does it really make a difference if you're still losing after? Like it's just like, and then the direction of Sacramento without Mike Brown now, like you mentioned it, are they gonna blow it up? I mean, who knows? They're gonna at one point they had a bright future. I mean, they took that Golden State Warriors team to 7 games, but it's Steph Curry. At the end of the day, like I feel bad for Mike Brown. I think he's a good coach, a great guy, and Coach Malone from the Nuggets even voiced his opinion. And a guy like him, you respect his caliber opinion because he sees good coaches because he's a good coach himself. So it's just a very interesting situation that I think looking back upon, the Kings will regret.
Yeah, I think they're going to regret it because I think he was the right fit for that team. I think and I think that a lot of noise. I guess a lot of noise surrounding his leadership style. But the thing, from what I've gathered, just from research and looking at certain different outlets, it was they didn't appreciate him like being like really pushing them. But from the clips I saw with Mike Brown, he was saying, "Look, you're an all-star talent. He's pushing him. Good coaches push players, man. I mean, if you look at Phil Jackson, and I'm kind of saying this before we move on, but if you look at Phil Jackson, on one hand, it's like, I mean, how much coaching can you really do when you go from Scottie Pippen and MJ to Kobe Bryant and Shaq? But then on the flip side, the reason why he is so highly coveted as a coach is because he was a motivator. You know, he found ways to balance the egos in certain, because look, when you're in the locker room with Dennis Rodman and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, you're dealing with egos. And when you're in the locker room with Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, you're dealing with egos. So you got to be that motivator. You got to be that guy that pushes players past the level they're comfortable. Because here's the thing, and players are guilty for this. Some players are complacent. Ben Simmons, complacent, never wanted to add to his game. You know, players get complacent. They get comfortable. You know, sometimes you need to push them out of their comfort zone. You know, if you look at, I think to a certain degree, you saw it with Jordan Poole. You see Jordan Poole playing at an all-star level. Why? He was pushed out of his comfort zone a little bit. You know, came over from Golden State where they had the vets, this dynasty, to a team where a lot more responsibility was put on the shoulders. Then all of a sudden, you had a slow start, caught a lot of heat in the media, and he had to work his way back up, man. So, he was out of his comfort zone. He had to put that work in. So, I don't understand this new generation of player, man, where it's like you don't want to be pushed. You don't want to be you he's a coach. Like, so that's where I'm at, man. You call me old school, but I think that player empowerment is a beautiful thing till it's not. So that is the subject of the night. We're gonna get in the comments, but before we do, like I said, that is a comment for tonight. What do you guys think? You think that we're tripping, or you think we're kind of right on? You guys let us know. So we're gonna get in the comments, but before we do, AB, tonight's episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That definitely happened to me. I had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was still paying for, and Rocket Money has made it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Oh, yeah. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million. Lord have mercy. And cancel subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Look, this is definitely an app that I definitely use. Like I said, when I was a young man, young scrapping B Scott, I used to spend money like it was water, y'all, but not anymore. With apps like this, it definitely helps me. My wife ain't an app, but she's definitely an avenue that helps me with my money. But, look, definitely get your value for your money, guys. With the economy, definitely get your money's worth with your money, right? So cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. All right, now let's get back into this, man. So let's get in the comments like we always do, AB. All right. So we're about the 24-minute mark. So, you guys know we got to be a little more selective, but I got y'all, man. So Locked on Law, like he always does, kicks things off. I'll bet anything, they play worse with Kuzma and Poole in the lineup. Again, my guy, Locked on Law, has no problem, sharing his views. And like I said, we respect him for his views, man. So definitely appreciate you, brother. I mean, Kuz definitely did not look his best night, but I'm not going to get on Kuz too much because coming back from injury, definitely give him some time to get back and game shape. Shook Biz One, my guy, says watching game live is closer than you expect. And I'll say this, man. I've been, an avid going to games over the years many times, but first time I went to a professional game in every sport, you're like, whoa, like this is like a lot smaller than it is on TV. I mean, I knew that would go to baseball games. Football field looks a lot smaller, but basketball, the first time I Cap one, is it the same thing with you, AB?
Yeah, no, I agree too. It's and everyone looks. I mean, they look like ants on TV, but when you go up there, you're like, dang, Kuzma's 6'10", holy crap! But
Yeah, man.
no, I agree. It changes your percent. I haven't been to a game in like 2 years, so it's like I gotta get back in there. But definitely, like watching there in person, it's like it kind of changes your perception of how you view the game and the players. I don't know about I haven't been to a Commanders game either, man. I've been lacking, even though clearly I'm a big fan, but no, it's definitely I can see because the way like when you're on there, it does look small, but basketball it might be a whole different game.
Oh, absolutely. And you better be going to a lot of Cat One games. Don't worry about it. But man, we're gonna have to change that. We're gonna have to get you to a Commanders game next year, man. We're gonna have to change that real quick, AB. Let's see. Shook Biz once also says I got great seats. I told him my name was B. Scott. Got to sit in his seats. That's what I'm talking about, man. Look, you name drop when it helps you out, brother. I ain't mad at you. Let's see. Locked on Law says trash defense again. Yeah, the switches, AB. The switches are slow. Josh Hart, most of the shots were easy looks. I mean, he was wide open on the perimeter. Easy looks. And the switches, when they switch out defenders, they take their time. They got to change that, man. They got to change that. Locked Law also says Kuzma is complete butt from free throw line tonight. I mean, I believe the airball one. I'm not, like I said, I think he's getting back in the game shape. I mean, right now with what's going on in DC, what's going on with the saga, with the Wiz and Kuz, man, it's easy to be like, oh, you airballed it. But I'm gonna give him some time to really acclimate to being back from injury, man. Because I know people, I already knew, man. As soon as he airballed that free throw, people are already getting on him, man. So like I said,
I checked Twitter as soon as he did, B.
I mean, I already knew, man, that he was about to get hit. But like I said, give him some time to come back from injury, man. I get it. Right now is the time where, a lot of people want him to be moved. I get it. But it is what it is. Let's see. Bree, how you doing tonight? They said, okay, I lied. We need to pull heat check threes. I think we're missing, his production a little bit tonight, man. Like I said, with Kuzma just come back from injury, he's not 100. I'm not gonna say he's not 100% because he did have a little spring to his step. He definitely had some speed, but just the shot just wasn't there. And like I said, he's come back from injury. Jordan Poole, hopefully he gears back up within the next couple of games, man, because we definitely need his scoring output. So I'm with you on that. Appreciate you tonight. Shook Biggs One said, "Stadium is screaming, let's go Knicks, embarrassing." Yeah, I mean, it's as a Wiz fan, you never want to hear MVP chants, but we know what it is, man. This is a tough city to have a home court or home field advantage, man. It's tough, and you see it more so with the Commanders and the Wizards. I haven't really seen. Well, I'm lying. With the Nats, usually is when the Phillies, the Mets are in town, where you really see them take over the stadium. But overall, outside of the Mets and the Phils, man, I haven't seen really many teams overtake the stadium. So we'll see this year, brother, because we got Soto in the Mets uniform. So I'm expecting to have a whole nother rivalry in Nats Park, man. So woo.
JD was at the game present, so maybe they were screaming MVP for him.
Hey, man, look, I mean, that's a whole nother subject, man, but he definitely, man, look, we got ourselves a real one, AB. Jane Daniels was at the game, and the last night's game, the Falcons and the Commanders game, they had Bub Carrington, they have German.
Oh, some of those, I think they had their own box, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they had Will Dawkins, I believe they had Shinpenny. So it's good to see them have that relationship, man. It's really refreshing to see. I mean, like I said, this, we're the Wizards platform, but the Commanders, man, are checking all the boxes, man. And Josh Harris, 2 years, bro. Come on, 2 years. Come on. So we're gonna stick on the Commanders, man. But y'all know what I'm saying. Let's see. Giovanni Santana says, "Dang, bro, you really hate the Wizards." I think he's responding to Locked Law. I don't know if Locked Law hates the Wizards, but he is a very strong critique. So it is what it is on that front. Dan Tico 84. See, I got it down now, man. He says we are young. We have to learn how to win. Absolutely. It's all about building that culture, man. Playing hard, playing to win. You saw it the last game, but this is one of those games where it was just a clear talent gap with the Knicks, man. So I'm not too concerned because they're just a lot better than we are. I mean, I feel like we did have some fight in us, especially in the first quarter. But the second quarter, I mean, we are a good first half, bad second half team, man. And we've been like that for a couple of years now. Let's see. He also says Bilal needs to put counter moves in his bag. Absolutely. Get him to a trainer that can teach him how to control the ball would help. Same with Sarr. He needs post moves and counter. Oh, I agree 100%. Definitely post moves, counter moves. I'm with you on that, man. Then Tico84 also says, "Hope Bub is okay. He's showing more aggression. I like that. Yeah, his scoring, his offensive output is definitely coming around, man. But I definitely hate to see him come down with a hit injury, man. Like I said, they can those concussions could be nasty, man. Like I said, I'm somebody who dealt with them, not so much in sports, but in the realm of the military and in a war situation. So I get it. It's you can't mess around with concussions, man. Let's see. And another one, hey, man, we got a lot of Dan Tico 84 tonight. Let's get it. I'm a Kuzma fan, but it's time to make a move, and we definitely shouldn't wait until the deadline. We need that trade like a couple days. I think he's going to be moved before the deadline. I think the report with him putting the report out there that he was kind of searching for a trade. I think that he's trying to be classy and not officially ask for a trade out. But I think that when you look at the post his mom put up there, I think it kind of tells you that he asked out. And I think that the organization, I think both parties know it's time. And I think they're still respectful to a certain degree. But I think that to a certain degree, it could be a little nasty. But, hopefully it's not an ugly divorce, man. Like, Bradley Beal, I mean, I think the biggest thing with that is you're not going to get the return you expect. You're not going to get the return you're going to get last year. And I think it was kind of funny that a report came out that he wanted to go to the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, that ship has sailed, man. I mean, that ain't happening. So, yeah, I appreciate his time here. But like you said, Dan, it is time to go, man. No disrespect intended on my part. It's time, man. In my opinion, it's time to go younger. And one more, and this is gonna be the last one from Dan Tico, man. It says Brandon AB question: if you could be realistic, what would a rebuilt team look like in 3 years? 7 to 10 players. Oh, I'm gonna let you take it, AB.
Man, I'm starting off with Cooper Flag. I think we're getting that number one pick. And I think Flag's there. We got Bilal. We got Alex Sarr, Bub Carrington. I still think JP will be here. Champagny. Those are the guys who I definitely think will be here. Now, when it comes to 2 or 3 years down the line, AJ DeBonds, that's his name, DeBonds. I can't pronounce AJ. DeBonds, yeah. Him. Also, a guy from my hometown, Nate Ahmet, who hasn't committed yet. I think he's like number 4 or 5 in the 2026 class. So that could be a guy down the line that we'll be looking at. Some of the Boozer twins. I don't know which one. I think it's Cameron. I forgot the other guy's name. One of them. Yeah, K Boozer. Those could be a guy that potentially be on the team. But I'm telling you guys, I'm excited for this Wizards team because again, if we can be patient with this team, we can be patient with any freaking franchise.
Oh, almost dropped that F-bomb, man. Hey, I'm with you, man. I'm excited. The bouncer, man. Oh, man. I mean, I believe he's going to BYU. So, yeah, he's definitely a talent. Cam Boozer, man. I think the next 2 drafts are very important. And I think those are, like I said all the time, you're going to be the finishing touches. I think they're very important. I'm with you because I think history always repeats itself. Last time we got the number 1 pick, the Nats got the number 1 pick, and they got the number 1 pick. And last time they had that number 1 pick, I believe it was Bryce Harper. And that was when we had John Wall. Because a year previously, tell me if I'm lying, but they had number 1 picks 2 straight years. It was Steven Strasburg and then Bryce Harper. So last time we got the number 1 pick, John Wall was picked. And Bryce Harper, which is the guy I wish was still in the Nats uniform, but it is what it is. But so I think that we have a real chance to get number 1 pick. And if you get that number 1 pick, you run to the podium. You don't walk, you run, or at least a brisk walk. I'm just saying. But I think that you have a lot of talent in this draft, man. I mean, Dylan Harper, yes, sir. Ace Belly, absolutely. I mean, the kid out of Illinois, man, he has got. I've been working on his name, man, but he's another guy like name. I mean, there's a lot of talent in this draft, so I think that we're definitely going to be able to capitalize these next 2 drafts. So I'm very excited. I'm with you, man. Locked on losses. I take Sabonis. I want the Wizards to draft him. I like Sabonis. I've always liked Sabonis.
I mean, granted, a lot of players kill the Wizards, but anytime he plays the Wizards, it's like guaranteed double, like 20 and almost 20. It's insane. I love his game.
I'm with you, man. Like I said, I when we had Bill and when we had Kuz, we had KP, and maybe before we made the KP trade, I thought that there was rumors that they were going to make a swing at Sabonis, man, from Indiana. I like that. I said, go for it. Go for it, man. I mean, there was a time when they talked about Jeremy Grant. I don't know, Jeremy Grant, I like his game, but you put Sabonis in the team with Bradley Beal and Kuz and KP. Good Lord. So, just another coulda, shoulda, woulda, So, all right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and call that a night. Oh, now this is funny, Rick. We got to do this one. Locked on Lost says Kuzma is going to a Haitian divorce. Oh, my Lord. Oh, man, a Haitian divorce. Lord have mercy. So, like like I said, guys, definitely appreciate everybody rolling with your boys tonight, man. Like I said, guys, this channel is successful because you guys. I just come on here and talk a lot. So, like I said, definitely appreciate you guys rocking with us through the good and the bad. It's gonna be a long year, but we're gonna have fun this year, guys, and we're gonna have fun for the next 2 to 3 years, man. We're gonna have fun on here, man. So definitely tune in. So let me pull up the schedule real quick, everybody, before we call it a night and take a look at the itinerary for the rest of the week, because we had tomorrow is New Year's Eve. So I'm gonna do this, guys. A part of me wants to go ahead and relax, like a lot of you guys do, but I'm gonna put a poll out there. If you guys want to do a New Year's Eve video real quick and go live and go over, what the New Year's resolution could be for the Wizards, we can do that. So I'm gonna put a poll out after the show. If you guys want to go live for a New Year's Eve video, we can do that. And if not, it's all good too, man. So because we do have a game on New Year's, so it's 7:00, so we should all be sober by that point. All right, so looking forward this week coming up, guys. January 1st, they had the Bulls at home at 7:00. Then Friday at New Orleans is 8:00. So I will be going live, guys. It's an 8:00 game, so I will go live. We're probably going to go live around 10:30. And then Sunday, they are at home against the Pelicans. So they're going to have their fair share of the New Orleans Pelicans. Another team that is definitely in the mix for that number 1 overall pick. I don't know how you do that, man, with all that talent. So another question for another day, AB. So, all right, man. Everybody enjoy your night. Definitely appreciate you guys and appreciate my guy AB as always. And we're going to catch you guys hopefully tomorrow, if not the day after. Hail to the Wizards and peace.